Well, good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Bill.
We're here, and today is the last Monday before a big day. We are launching a new version of Appraisal Port this Saturday night.
Very classy.
Friday night.
Cool, all fancy.
It's browser. We talked a little about it last week. It's browser independent, so if you've got Safari or if you've got a version of Internet Explorer, actually a current version, where our clients ask, why do we only support current versions? And the reason we only do that is because the maker of the browser does not offer a patch if it's not a currently supported version.
Right.
It's a big deal.
And when you say current version, what we mean is any of the versions that the manufacturer supports.
Today, exactly.
Right,
and a lot of people think, well, Internet Explorer 6, I'll approve that, okay? Well, they don't support that anymore, okay?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They want it gone.
And so they just send that notice out and say, as of this date, we're not going to support that anymore.
Right. And
it creates a bigger security issue. So we're supporting basically all current browsers. Chrome, I'm beginning to move to Chrome myself. I know it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I've been an Internet Explorer for a long time. But I'm what do you use?
I use one of each. I've got Firefox, I've got
Chrome. You have to keep up because people ask you questions from time to time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's your preferred?
I think the default is still IE because
so
there,
much,
I'm just used to it. Yeah, so.
I'm the same way about that, and I read my news a lot of times like that. It's really, I know you read every morning the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times.
Right.
Maybe I should say the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. Do you do it on the iPad?
Almost always on the iPad.
So that's a Safari browser or some version.
Yeah, Safari. And so, yeah, I use it. Well, it's actually an application that you download specifically for that. And so, yeah, that's what I typically use. Sometime around 3 to 4 in the morning.
Exactly. and so let's talk about the new Appraisal Port and the advantage. There are many new things we're doing in Appraisal Port. We've had a number of training sessions. If you are listening to us and you want some more information, your account team, if you're a financial institution, can get you some information on that. And if you'll call our customer support, they'll get you some information. It's going to go live this weekend. Some of the things that it does, it's got a much easier to use dashboard so the appraiser can see very straightforward what's late. It's all color coded. What's late, what's due today, that sort of thing. It's very helpful in that regard.
Yeah, and there are a lot of features that we've had feedback from our clients, from the appraisers, saying, it'd be nice if it did this.
Right.
And so we've tried to incorporate a lot of that, to try to incorporate some of the new technologies that are out there that make things easier to use and that people have become accustomed to. That's the one thing about the internet is that it doesn't stay the same.
That changes.
It's constantly moving. And so if you stay the same, you start becoming antiquated, and the features that people expect are just not there. So
that's right. And we have a roadmap for future enhancements. We'll be making you aware of those in the coming weeks and months. We tried to build a new platform that we could continually improve, and it had a lot of flexibility because the mortgage market is changing, and that brings us to our second topic today, which is the mortgage market and how it's changing and what it's done so far in 14. It's way down from 13.
Yeah, it's way down from 13, and there's not a lot of evidence that it's going to pick up anytime soon.
Rates are down.
Rates are down.
The 10-year's down, and
the 10-year's way down.
Some lenders have not lowered their rate because they're trying to hold their capacity.
They're trying to keep that yield, and take advantage of some differential that's occurring right now. But the truth is, a lot of lenders are starting to lower their credit requirements, back those off a little bit. Secondary market is looking for some higher yields to try and capture some of the good old days again, But
people want some of that yield. We were with an investor in the last few days, and they said, we want some of that bigger yield.
Yeah, and so there are all the signs that there's some pressure to bring back some of that stuff, but
The good old days.
the good old days. But you know, the fundamental problem
500
is
FICO and 8% yield. Maybe
it's a
not.
fogging of the mirror, right?
Well, there may be more documentation this time, but there's certainly a demand for the lower end of the credit spectrum, which has essentially been crowded out.
Exactly, and the problem is that, you know, if you thought about it and said, okay, I want to build a model that describes the demand for mortgages, all right, and how we could increase that. And what are the things you put in there? Interest rate, right? But not just the current interest rate, the interest rate relative to what it has been, right? You're going to be looking at the number of people out there who could potentially afford a mortgage. That's going to be driven a lot by the employment numbers. Okay, well, they've been improving, but not strong.
Well, a lot of our clients are talking about relaxing credit standards.
Right.
They're talking about it, but we really haven't seen that happen. I mean, I feel like it's a race. When I was in high school, which has been a little while ago, when I was in high school and I was running a longer race, everybody would talk about a rabbit. You need a rabbit. Jump out front, lead the pack, improve the times, that sort of thing. But nobody wanted to be the rabbit because as soon as you got out there with a rabbit, okay? I mean, I've been a rabbit in one race, okay? I know how that feels, okay? You start first and finish last.
Right, yeah.
And so
well, you're good for the first half of the race.
Exactly, okay? It's fun while you're leading, okay? But it's hard when you finish, all right? So everybody's talking about being the rabbit. But nobody's actually jumped out and assumed the role of the rabbit.
Yeah, we keep hearing stories that some of them are, you know, loosening credit at the edges, you know, and
but we don't see that.
now, you certainly don't see it in terms of increased volume.
No,
the
and
volume just keeps going down.
And we don't see it in terms of loosening underwriting standards either. They talk about it, but nobody wants to be the rabbit and jump out front and take the lead.
Yeah, in fact, you know, if you looked at the number of different mortgage products that are out there today, is probably, you know, what, 20% of what it used to be in terms of the ones that they offer. So it's really shrunk down quite a bit. And as they start adding more, including some of those for some of the weaker credit, that's when you'll notice that there's some improvement.
So foreclosures are muddling along. The foreclosure states have still not worked through their foreclosures.
They haven't, although we'll have occasional blips, but by and large, foreclosures are going down.
They are.
Okay, what's on the books are going down.
There's still the big pig in the python in the foreclosure states.
Yeah, now, people keep talking about the fact that a lot of the variable rate mortgages are getting ready to reset. And how is that going to impact everything?
And the home equity stuff, which is fixed for a period of time and now is about to undergo a reset.
Right, there's going to be some big resets occurring next year, and a lot of interest in how that's going to be impacted, because some of those people are on some very, very low interest rates, and that was the only way they could get in. And incomes have not gone up. Interest rates have gone up, and so they're going to be having to bite a much bigger payment when they refinance.
So it's going to be, you know, the values are not there in some cases for them to be able to refinance because they got their loan back when values were high and values have come way down. And what are they going to do?
Exactly. So they're going to end up paying a much higher payment, or if they're in one of the lucky markets where it has increased value, then they may be able to refinance.
Maybe.
At a higher interest rate.
Well, I want to summarize. We have just a few moments left. I want to summarize. Next week, we're going to try to have on here the people that brought you the new appraisal report.
That'd be great.
And we're going to talk to them about their thought process, what they did, the process they went through to bring this thing to market. They'll be right in the middle. It'll be the first live day. So I'm sure there'll be bloodshot eyes and that sort of thing. Been up all night.
I need to have some coffee.
Lots of coffee. And we'll be talking about why did we do a new appraisal report. Our last release, I believe, was in 2008, 2009. So it's been
That was when you were in high school.
Exactly, right? Exactly. 10th grade. Okay, so having said all that, I see Dr. Dorsey still has his sense of humor intact. So this is FNC's Morning View. I'm Bill Ray with Bob Dorsey. You all have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.